Well, welcome to another edition of the Referee's Corner here on IslandStats.com. Joining me today, none other than a young lady that we had on before, but due to a lot of background noise and so forth, we decided to bring her back. And first of all, welcome Zana.
Hi, Al.
And how is Zana today?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm
That's
good.
good. Refereeing football, it's something that the last time we talked, you said um, was something that you done years ago that you wanted to get back involved in. Just want to reiterate some of the stuff that you said before so we can get back on to the topic at hand. Football.
Okay, football, because I've never ever been a referee before. So, of course, when I was younger, I started playing at Elliott with Wolves and then Wolves girls. So we're going back quite some time. Then I played, of course, for Barclay and both my universities in England. Came back to Bermuda and was reintroduced to football by Andrew Bascom with ABC Football School. From there, I came up to the National Academy to coach with the girls' side, and it was at the academy that I was approached about refereeing. Um, Definitely not something I ever thought that I would do, um, but here I am today, refereeing and coaching.
How has the game changed from you as a player throughout your schooling changed as opposed to what you see now being an official?
Um, well, all sports are evolving, so of course there's a technology piece that is making the game very different, both from a player and I guess, a referee's perspective. With the introduction of VAR into football, some might say that's good or bad. I remain neutral. The game is much more fast paced, I think, now, and a lot more thinking, I think, is involved from a player perspective. So um, otherwise, I think you can either play or you can't.
What has been a challenge for you per se personally when you look at officiating, getting ready to officiate, and going through a game itself?
God. When I think back to my fan days in Bermuda, I often think, gosh, don't make the wrong call because, I don't want the fans coming down on me.
Like you used to do?
I'm pretty sure Francis remembers those days. No, I think I guess, the biggest challenge is just making sure that I interpret what's happening on the field correctly.
Mhm.
So I definitely don't want to be the referee that's on the field and is seen to be making incorrect calls or cheating. Um, I'd never cheat because I don't care who wins or loses.
Right.
I'm just hoping for a really good game. I think I've been lucky so far officiating in that I haven't really had to face much in terms of abuse
Right.
from fans or from players. So I've had a few small incidents, but nothing that would leave me scarred.
Do you think the females who are now involved in officiating are getting better treatment than the males? That's not controversy.
No, I don't think that. Um, I guess it depends on what angle you're asking the question from. Do you think better treatment is coming from the BRA or the BFA or
No,
from
from the fans per se.
No, because in my experience, I have seen some female referees been treated quite harshly, and leaves you questioning who raises some of the players that treat the women um, in such a horrible manner. Fortunately, I haven't had to necessarily deal with um, that kind of disrespect on the field, not from players anyway. I've had a few exchanges with players, but what happens in the game for me stays in the game, and the following week I don't carry on incidents from game to game. So
When you were approached, I could only imagine that Mr. Williams, who constantly approaches everyone to officiate, when he approaches you and says, "Well, I'm challenging you to officiate," what goes through one's mind, especially yours?
um, I don't think I was challenged. He didn't challenge me in the way that I think he challenges most others. He just asked if I would officiate. Um, I like Cranston, so maybe I was a little bit biased in accepting his offer for me to officiate. And I
Mhm.
said, what better way to understand the game than to look at it from an official's perspective? And it definitely has taught me a lot. I do look at the game through a different lens when I'm officiating in a game. Tackles, especially, I look at it from a far more unbiased view, I guess. So I'm learning a lot.
Do you feel more people should take this route, just even if it's just to referee youth games to understand the game a little better?
I do. Parents, especially.
Well, they have a biased opinion.
Right. So, I mean, I started off refereeing the youth games, which I think is great because it really does make you concentrate on the fouls. Um, there are so many different levels of falling, and so you don't want to be on the big stage and, give somebody a red card. And really, it probably should have been a warning. But I think it benefit the game holistically if more people, I guess, just did a friendly refereeing course. Learn the rules of the game, especially the rule changes.
Mhm.
You get the fans shouting out to officials, you're making a bad call. Obviously, not in such a nice way.
Right.
Yeah, I think it would benefit everyone, really, especially coaches, especially because I know, like I said, I've learned so much, and it has helped me as a coach to look through a different lens at the game, and then you get to impart better information on your players. So.
When you look back at your day as a spectator, um, as and you look at the game now, what would you say back to Zena back then? Knowing what you know now. Look at the face. Because Zena was a bit rough, wasn't she?
So, to be fair, I was the average fan.
Okay, the
And,
average.
I came from watching games every week, every other week at Stamford Bridge.
Right,
So,
right.
I was just the average fan in England. It's only when I came back to Bermuda that I realized, oh, Bermudian fans are not all that bad.
Right,
And so, you kind of have to tell yourself you're being a bit harsh.
right.
Francis can tell you on his best day, he got heat from me as a fan.
Before the game even started.
Before the game even started, yes, yes. But no, I guess it's hard because like we talked about earlier, the game has changed so much, and technology has changed. The pace of the game has changed. So maybe I wouldn't be so hard on the officials. I probably would still be, one of those fans that shouted from the sidelines,
Right,
but I would
right.
probably choose my wording a little bit more differently. I'm going to keep it diplomatic.
I'm glad you're being honest right now. But let's talk a little bit about the youth game when you started. Obviously, what are some of the things when you took from your course and you go out to officiate a youth game? What are some of the things you're looking for, and what are some of the things you're looking to help the youngsters to keep the game flowing?
Um, I think the energy should always be focused on youth. I mean, because football is not just about playing the game; it's about people development, and you have to start from young. Some young people don't get the attention that others do. So this is about developing people. So I know now. I take the middles in under 15 and under 17 games, and the first thing I say to players is, "Look, we're playing the game just to have some fun. I'm not going to tolerate any kind of disrespect or abuse on the field, whether it be to myself or to players or to fans, anything." And I think, setting the tone from the onset, just letting players know, look, this is about developing you as a person. So I think that's the most important thing when dealing with the youth, developing them as a,
Mm.
as a people.
When you get that opportunity to then turn and do a senior game, it becomes a little more focused, a little more attention to detail. How do you prepare for a senior game, even if it's running the line?
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say that I had to have a different approach altogether. Of course, senior games are more results driven. So I just make sure that I officiate as best as I can to the laws of the game. Um, that's it. So I make a call, I stick to it, right or wrong. You'll never know if I've ever been wrong. But no, I just try to execute based on the laws of the game as best I can. I think in a senior game, the most difficult thing is to not respond to a player should he say anything.
Right.
And so far, I've only officiated men's senior games, so it's if he should choose to say anything, it's the difficulty is in not responding.
And that's just a personal thing for you.
For me, yes.
Yeah.
I have responded, but my response has typically been learn the laws of the game
Okay.
before you
Right.
attack me.
What was your first game like in the senior division? You remember what?
So my first game was actually done at Garrison. And the game actually didn't go on because the field wasn't marked out.
Hey, you got to be lucky then.
So I got away lucky.
All the jitters going down.
all I kept thinking was, oh my God, everything that I said to Francis,
Somebody's gonna say.
somebody may have to say to me. I got away lucky. To be fair, I have officiated mostly in the East, by preference, just so I don't have to travel.
Right.
But you know, I haven't had to deal with much abuse, so so far I'm okay with officiating. I wouldn't say I was completely nervous because I think my first game was Hamilton Parish and maybe Wolves, and I'm familiar with quite a few of the players
Right.
on Wolves, so Wolves team, so I was fine.
Okay. So you're comfortable. First game out on the field.
Yeah.
After those jitters, you got to be lucky. But when you look at the state of the game and the team around you guys as far as the officials, how do you think that bond is right now?
I think we have a good group of officials. We're getting some younger officials to join in, which is really great. So, of course, the dynamic between the team has to shift when you're dealing with under 16s and adults.
Yes.
But it's great. Everyone is willing to work together. I think we have some good leadership. And it's, for me, it's always an encouraging experience. The trainings are usually intense on a Tuesday. A Thursday is usually more tactical and game related. So I think right now we're doing pretty good in terms of bonding.
All right. I want to thank you for your time. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Kaylee. But again, thank you very much, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Hopefully, the jersey you're wearing, that team could do a little better.
Always true blue, true blue.
True blue. Okay. All right. We'll be back with more Referee's Corner here on IslandStats.com. And welcome back to Referee's Corner here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Basin, now joined by two other youth, or senior, however you want to look at it, two officials. Introduce yourselves.
My name's Ikawa Davis, and I'm a new family referee. I've been refereeing youth games.
Okay. And everybody knows you.
Evening, my name's Kaylee Richards, and this will be my third year refereeing.
Okay. You say you've been doing youth games.
Yes.
Why, and who got you involved?
Who got me involved? I think it was Clinton. I saw him one time, and he told me that he does refereeing, and it was good. And I love football. I love watching it and playing it. So I was like, why not?
Right.
And then ever since I started, I actually enjoy it.
Now, you're sitting next to what we consider a veteran, 3 years in the game, officiating, probably over all the jitters of that first game. What's that? You're not?
Every game, well, it depends. If it's like an important game, a bit nervous, but not as much as my first game.
Oh, yeah, I just say your first game, yeah. But all games are important for somebody,
Yeah.
you know. Do you have aspirations of doing senior games, or you just want to stay with the youth games right now?
I'll save the youth games for now, but I wouldn't doing like AR or linesman work for senior games.
Oh, okay. Kerry, what's your year 3? How has the experience been from year to year?
It's been a lot easier getting to know everyone. And the law has changed too, so it's like you have to learn it more.
Mm. When you started out, there was you were probably one of 3 females officiating at the time, 3 or 4, and now we've got this abundance of females out there looking to move up the ranks. What encouraging words would you have for the lady sitting to your right?
Just use your resources. We're all here to help, and don't be afraid to ask any questions because it could be very difficult at times. Sure.
Now, you've been doing youth games. What are some of the challenges you faced week in and week out with youth games?
With the youth games, I would say to be strict, but also be lenient with them as well, because they're still learning, especially since I've been doing like under 9s and under 11s.
Mhm.
So they know the game, but it's like this still like a learning progress for them,
Mhm.
and then how to differentiate the females and the males and all that.
How have the coaches been for you?
Oh, the coaches have been lovely. Like really, like
Got a
actually,
good patch.
I enjoy the youth games. Like the coaches are nice. The players are good.
Mhm.
It's been a good experience.
Through your time of coming on board and going through the process of learning the rules, was there anything that stood out in your mind that said, "Oh, I didn't realize that"?
Oh, yes. Recently, I was doing linesman for a game this weekend, and I didn't realize there's another offside that I didn't know about, but it's a really like technical offside.
Mhm.
It's about how, if the attacker was off and then it came back on, but the goalkeeper had kicked the ball already, it would still be offside. And I thought that was quite interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, yeah.
So you're learning in the game.
Yeah. There's I think halftime someone put me on side and was like, oh, it was still for a youth game,
Right.
so
right.
it wasn't that bad.
Right.
So I was like, I'm glad I'm learning now. But yeah, it was good.
Kerry, with the new rules that have come out and you've seen all sorts of transitions of rules throughout your time officiating, what one do you still struggle with?
It's not a matter of struggling exactly, though. I would say it's mainly just how the fans interpret the law. Like
Right.
none of them know it. I mean, you have some players that know it, some coaches, but others just don't know it. So it doesn't exactly cloud my judgment, but it's like have no idea. Like, especially with how the handball law is articulated
Right.
now.
Right.
It's like nobody knows it.
Are you clear with it?
Oh yeah, I am.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Are you clear with it? No. 5% maybe.
Yeah, just
Okay. All right. Because it's when new rules and new laws come out, sometimes you might read it and say, well, I clearly don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense until you actually see it in a practical sense. And then you start to grasp what the concept is. But I don't think enough people take the opportunity to read it, to understand it, and then see it in action, and then decide, okay, well, yes or no, or maybe so, kind of thing. When you guys are talking amongst yourselves, this is for Kerry, when you guys are having your referee meetings, and everybody has a chance to tell, what their experience was over the weekend and what is the constant thing that keeps coming up in those meetings without telling tales outside of school?
Probably mainly be a vocal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. Now, do you see when you're doing the youth games? Do you see the repetitions of the same sort of fouls or same things happening week in and week out?
Yeah, just a little bit. I see main thing would be little foul throws, obviously because they're still young,
Mhm.
and a bit with the tackles, and that's about it. But it's not really the youth games. They're just really good. Like
Right.
they're just. I think they're better than the senior
Do you
games.
find yourself watching the game a lot, or because I mean you can get caught up in watching a youth game?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit. Like maybe like say
She don't want to
10%.
admit it. She don't want to admit
No,
it.
10% of the game, I find myself. I'm like, oh, okay, no, gotta get back on. Yeah, that'll be me.
Yeah, but that's just the game when you see young people enjoying themselves and so forth, and then you get to the senior players and they're not enjoying it as much. They tend to take it a little more or maybe overboard and being too serious about what it's a game. Let's play
Yeah.
it. Let's have fun. We had fun when we were 15, 16, 17. Why are
Mhm.
we now changing this attitude now that we're 18, 19, 20 and older? So um, what are you hoping for the remainder of the season, Katie?
I don't know. More games.
More games for you?
Yeah.
But
I'd like to possibly try at the center, but maybe for like a PDL game. That's probably it.
okay. Ambitions of being in the middle.
Yeah.
But you're juggling so much right now, and you think officiating helps you concentrate more on schoolwork, or it takes away from it?
Well, I have to, or my mom would tell me to stop doing it.
No, but do you use football as a way to kind of relax the mind and then be able to approach
Yeah,
schoolwork
for
a
sure.
little different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to just get away from,
Mm.
like working, my brain continuously going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? What does football do for you personally?
I don't know. I just love football.
Yeah.
I think it's always been a part of me as well. So just
How
to
did
watch
that
it.
happen? How did that happen?
Oh, I think I first started playing football when I was like 7 years old,
Okay.
and then ever since then, just fell in love with it.
Okay. What do you love about the game then?
What I love about the game, I don't know, everything. Either people working together or individuals working so hard to perfect their skill, and then they get to display that to other people. It's just the game as a whole.
Mhm. Now, when you look at that and you look at the fact that the officials are a team as well, working in harmony, is that something you like to do? Be part of a team and get a result?
Yeah, I actually did not realize how well linesmen and referees work together. Like they're just so like together and as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of refreshing because I know I had my first division game, and everyone would just have to make sure everyone was okay, and at halftime you checked in with everyone and see anyone had any problems, and I just thought that was really good, and I actually enjoyed being a part of a team like that.
What was your first division game?
Oh, I had I had Social Club versus Hamilton Parish.
Oh, that was last weekend, wasn't it? Or week before last?
Yeah, we were for
Week
last.
before last. And you made out okay. Well, obviously you made out okay.
It was a very interesting game.
Oh yeah.
Should
Okay.
be.
What's
It
that?
should be.
Were you nervous at any point?
Maybe at the start,
Mm-hmm.
but then afterwards, I was completely fine.
Right.
But yeah, it was. I think that was a good first senior game to have.
Oh, okay. Big field, though, because it was at Wellington Oval, wasn't it?
It was at PSG.
Social club and oh, that's right. Yes, yes.
Social club. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It was. I was there.
Oh, you would?
Yes, I was there.
Oh.
You were running the line on the spectator side.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. No, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, that was a close game. It ended 2-0, right? Or 1-0?
Oh man, I can't remember.
Yeah,
the
I think it
score.
was 1-0 or 2-0 to Social Club.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Social club deal, yeah.
Yeah, 1-0. I think. Yeah. Yeah. See?
Well, it was a close game.
Very close. Yeah, I covered. Well, ladies, I want to thank you very much for joining me. Good luck for the remainder of the season. Enjoy the youth game because Kerry would tell you you're gonna have to do some senior games that you might not want to do. but as Kerry has said, you look and trust each other, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You don't know everything in football, although many people think they know everything in football. I'm still learning the game, and I've played for years, so and rules change. So your interpretation of the law, if you ask another official, they might have a different take, and you have to sort of marry those two things together. All right, well, ladies, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your
Thank
evening. All right, okay. Well, folks, that's it for Referee's Corner here on IslandStats.com. Do enjoy the rest of your night.